What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity back bumper. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity back bumper. Bump to the bump to the bump to the bass. Bump to the bump to the bumper. Bump to the bump to the bump to the bass. Bump to the bump to the.
How fortunate that you prostrate yourself before me. First I will kill you, then I will save you.
I'm gonna hit you as hard as I can.
Heyo TCB faithful, this is the Final Boosh,
And this is Madhouse.
and this is going to be a little bit of a different TCB reviews this time. Sparking Zero just came out, and I feel as though that we don't have enough information about the game to give out an in-depth review.
Yeah, it's not like it's a year old or anything.
So this time we'll just kind of talk about our feelings of the game, and we'll give like a little generic score that we like to do with these kind of videos. And then maybe down the line, when the game's a little longer in the tooth, we'll give out like an actual edited style production video for the game.
Yeah, because by then it's probably like it'd be more added to the game by then.
Yeah,
like the game, it's not early. That's what I'm trying to say. It's too early to be judging the game right now, even though we should judge it based off the way they released it, and we will.
It's not that intense. Just listen and hear if you're interested to think what we think about the game.
We've been following it.
Yeah, we've been following it. You can look at plenty of our videos. We got a whole saga with this damn game.
Yeah, it's a whole arc.
So it'd be good to bring this shit to a close, at least for now. All right, so I guess we should get into the presentation. That's probably the biggest focus of this game.
Yeah, in terms of like development.
To be fair, that's like their big focus, right? So, how do you feel about the presentation, graphics, all this other shit?
All right, so from the beginning, since like since like the showcase of the trailer and shit,
yeah,
you know how I feel about the super art style.
Yeah,
it's a terrible art style, and it's even worse in 3D.
Yeah, it's weird. A lot of characters look goofy, like Khalifa and Kel,
the dumb big Dumbo airs and like.
What's the transformation of them two? Khalifa, Kefla, her victory screen looks weird. She like big Mickey Mouse hands, and her smirk look like she's down a couple of chromosomes. So the art style is mixed for me. All the effects and stuff are great. I still don't like the way like Energy Blast look.
I can't suppose to look like a liquid. But
I never got used to how those look. But as far as like effects and stuff with like destruction and all that other stuff, and we play it with lower like settings.
Despite the fact that's being locked to the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah, but I'm not here to talk about 2-player mode because they clearly don't care about that. The graphics as are, with the effects and stuff, are fine. Nothing here is too egregious. We personally, just don't like the super art style.
And not all the characters look bad. Like, some of them do look good.
Yeah. Some of them look good. Like, Harudagon looks really good. Like, I think Broly looks really good. Both Brolys.
And Araza.
When you get to the more... No, like, a lot of characters look weird in a way. A lot of characters look weird. I think like Master Roshi looks really weird.
Like it's either two things in this game. It's either you're too thin or you just too doofy looking.
It's a solid art style. It's solid.
Now the graphical fidelity of the game looked great. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but we're not, like I said, we're not.
It's 2024. The game sure looked great.
We're not putting too much stock into that. It's an anime fighter in 2024. Come on, man. Like if fighters already proved that you can make amazing looking games. They've been making amazing looking games for years. It's fine. I do think some of the animations, like in the cutscenes and stuff, are a little stiff, but that's on purpose.
Yeah, so the episode battle shit.
Yeah, but other than that, like characters animate fine. I think they do a really good job channeling the personality of the characters through the animations and stuff.
Even though I do think it get in the way of gameplay a bit sometimes too.
But we can go into that once we actually get to the gameplay.
Yeah.
All right, so I would say something about the music, but.
It's not a lot. What I've heard,
I barely hear it.
Yeah, but what I've heard from it is either okay, and a lot of it sound catchy if you pay attention to it.
It just sounds like, oh man, I'm fighting in the background. All you hear is.
I like the little character select music,
like it's fucking Cuphead or some shit.
That's dope music. I like that. That's chill music.
Yeah, but most of the time I barely hear the music, and I put the music setting up. So I don't hear it. So whatever, the music doesn't stand out to me.
Well, maybe if you listen to it in a bubble, it might be good.
I don't know. Tenkaichi games usually have good soundtracks. So like fucking Ultimate Tenkaichi had an amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, like the Meteor and all that shit. Yeah, but
BT3 had an amazing soundtrack.
Two.
BT1 had an amazing soundtrack.
2.
Well, BT1 was a lot of Budokai music. But as far as Sparking Zero goes, I'll probably listen to it individually once I start coming out on YouTube.
From what I've heard, I like the soundtrack.
Okay, that's good. That's just kind of generic to me. That's fine though. That's
But
fine.
I do miss Dragon Ball Z having that big band type of music though.
I could have swore they were going to put that kind of music in the game. Not like the new music, but
Like
I
the
thought
Budokai music.
I thought the Budokai music will be in the game. I thought it was.
I thought it fit the series rather well.
I know the game also has anime music as well.
Oh yeah, the super awkward intro that played a Tournament of Power theme song.
Yeah. That's weird too. I don't
Like
like
to me,
either.
that's a time restraint type because to me that makes it more okay. Now I know this seems weird to say because it is a licensed product, but shit like that make it feel like a licensed product. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it feels like Temu BT3
If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but every Dragon Ball Z game
had his own feeling,
Dragon Ball game
feel.
had his own intro, specialized intro. I think this is the first time a Tenkaichi game or a Tenkaichi style game didn't have its own like theme song, and it did feel weird. It did feel cheap. It felt cheap, like the music just kind of ended at the end of the intro, and then they just filled it up with like sound effects with like the logo popping up and everything.
Yeah,
like that felt really weird and cheap. I didn't like that, and that's going to be like a major thing with this game. I feel as though even though they had 5 years of dev time, and don't get me wrong, that 5 years shows in a lot of areas, but a lot of this shit just feels rushed. Some of it. But you know, that's the presentation. All right, how do you feel about the game modes?
how many game modes are there? So
There's
it's the episode battle, it's the custom
mode.
battle, it's tournament mode, it's 2 players,
and then there's online.
and no, I think there's a challenge mode too.
Is there a challenge mode?
I haven't seen anybody play it, and personally, we haven't played it neither.
Most of my time has been spent on online and story mode.
It's that option when you go to Zeno, when you go to the Zeno Palace.
Yeah.
It says something about challenges, but I haven't really looked into it.
Okay, so you know what? At first glance, I thought like this is not enough modes, but Tenkaichi's always been kind of meh with the modes.
Yeah.
Like you can say you got like Ultimate 100 from like past games and things like that, and you got like the battle simulator that I liked in Tenkaichi. 3.
Tenkaichi 1 too, that ladder mode.
That's the Ultimate 100, right?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
And then I forget what Tenkaichi 2 actually has, but it's probably game modes. So I'll give this one a slide. I do think they need more.
Because to be fair, the focus is on the multiplayer aspect, not the multiplayer that matter, but the multiplayer aspect.
Yeah, I think they still need game modes though.
You do, but the focus is on the online.
Like, where's the survival mode?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, small shit.
Time
like that.
attack. I don't know. I'm not saying it's necessarily needed. I'm not going to hold this against the game. This has always been like a Tenkaichi issue as a whole. So I'm not going to hold it against the game all too much. But what I will praise the game and kind of it's a half praise is the what is it called, episode battle.
Yeah, the episode battle, which we haven't tried the custom battle yet.
I haven't tried the custom battle yet. I'm not really interested in it. That'd be cool when mods start coming out and people start doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
But it's still a good mode. I'm not taking that away from them. That's a really cool looking mode. It just doesn't interest me. So fine. But the actual story mode itself,
you got more experience with that than I do.
it's pretty solid. It's your bog standard. You tell the Dragon Ball story, but in this time they kind of commit harder to the what ifs. So I played Goku's all the way through. And
How far did it go?
it went up to Frieza.
Oh shit, that's a chunk.
And Goku's was like, if you don't go with Piccolo to go confront Raditz. They defeat Raditz. Now, Piccolo hits Goku with the special beam cannon. They still do that whole moment where he grabs him, but Raditz dodges it. Or is that Vegeta? It's probably... I just played it yesterday, so it's not over time, because now I'm fighting my memory of Dragon Ball with this what if stuff. You get what I mean? So now I'm having a problem. Now I'm trying to realign the timeline in my head, but I know it's a what if thing, right? Something happens. I forget how to defeat Raditz. Maybe. Oh no! It's weird. It's weird, man. You'll have to play through it. It's weird. It's like, it's kind of cool and it's neat. It's neat seeing them commit to it because sometimes it's just like a one-shot thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, okay, what if Goku turns Super Saiyan here? Well, we know what's going to happen. He's going to beat the guy. So what's the point of doing this, right? And that's the way I viewed it at first, right? I was like, oh, okay, they're going to turn Goku Super Saiyan and that's it. But no, they go like hard in the paint with some of these ideas.
Is it like Maseko X's and Saiyan Solids and shit like that?
Yeah, I guess you can.
Carl Frost Dojo, whatever the fuck his name is, something Dojo.
You can equate it to that. Yeah, you probably can. So yeah, so you have things like, oh man, it was so cool seeing Goku actually fighting along with the Z Fighters.
And not being dead the majority of the time.
Like, it's so cool.
So it felt like a Shredder shit.
So I'll give them that, and that goes a long way for me to actually have me take your story and be like, wow, this is pretty fucking cool.
Because you don't see it.
It's pretty nice, and I'm jaded. But it was pretty fucking cool seeing Goku be like the leader of the Z Fighters, and he's fighting along with Tien, Krillin, Chatsu, Yamcha, all these guys. It was cool. And they all jump like Vegeta and shit like that. And give them credit for jumping. They jump niggas all the time, and that's terrible. And they all go through shit together. And it was cool. It was awesome.
Were they all in Namek?
No. Frieza actually comes to Earth.
Oh, it's okay. It's different.
So after they defeat Vegeta comes back to warn them about, because he's like, oh, because Goku dies during that period, right? I forget how. That's when the special beam cannon thing happens. I think Vegeta was about to eat a special beam cannon and he dodges it and Goku takes the hit and he dies. So they revive him and Vegeta comes back and he's like, oh, well, the Dragon Balls must be true because you're back from the dead, right? And then he warns them like, look, I need immortality. Frieza's coming. He's gonna jack everybody.
The whole Ginyu Force spell.
So and I wasn't paying like it's weirdly engaging because something as simple as just keeping one guy alive or just moving a fighter, I like that idea, and I really appreciate.
So it's like they changed it in a small way that went a longer distance as opposed to making it a big thing that was shorter.
Right, and then for the end of Goku's thing, because each character has their own like story sections, if you get what I mean. So you play with Goku, as far as I know right now, you play with Goku. When I played with Goku to the what if spot, he fought all the way up to the Frieza saga. And with the Frieza saga is Frieza invades Earth and they fight the Ginyu Force. And that's like Goku's last fight. I mean, it's Frieza and shit, but that's Goku's like hardest fight, in my opinion, is the Ginyu Force fight. I know a lot of people were talking about the Great Vegeta fight, but I beat that in like 2 tries.
Yeah, I seen you. You did, so you had a hard time with that.
So I don't know why everybody say that's
it's like it's demons, it's Dark Souls, or
no. It's just like I don't get what was so hard about it. I don't know. Maybe
if anything, give anybody any pushback is Dark Souls.
Yeah. It wasn't that tough. It really wasn't. But I wish I had footage of it, but I don't. So take my word for it, please.
I'm telling the truth, please.
But it was really cool. The Ginyu fight, the Ginyu Force fight, it's like a gauntlet. Obviously, you have to fight all the Ginyu Force members.
Yeah,
and it's fucking hard. I lost like 6 times to that part.
So the story mode challenging.
Yeah. It's still challenging, despite how
it's not just a romp.
Despite where I got my difficulty from, it is challenging. There's no real difficulty set into it. You can make things easier, but the AI is still pretty on your toes. About you got to stay on your toes. It's not like
so they put effort into it.
There's effort here. I don't like the presentation of it. After DBZ Kakarot, I can understand that you don't want to do all this fucking dumb shit.
Yeah, because you don't want to step on that game's toes.
Right. So I kind of understood that. I still think it was kind of just like boring most of the time because it's like kind of a quick animation that stills. But for what it's worth, for a fighting game story mode where Kakarot was tasked with doing this whole thing as a whole, it was fine. I'm satisfied with episode battle. I think it's pretty cool. Some of the cutscenes, some of the real cutscenes you actually get are pretty faithful. It's pretty cool, stuff like that. So and even the what if stuff have their own dedicated cutscenes.
Oh well, that's cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it because I was watching you, but I was busy doing other shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but it looked like you was enjoying it. So that is good. I might play for it myself then.
And then you get like I don't know if they have World Tournament mode. Most of the time, like I said, I've been with episode battle
or versus, or trying to get it to work,
are online mode, which I guess we could tackle next before we actually get into the gameplay.
Yeah. So let's talk about something that actually surprised me.
Yeah.
The online.
Yeah, I know we had several videos and probably other videos. That's not the actual topic.
No. We had the right to voice our concern about the online.
About the delay base.
And mind
like,
you,
it's not like anime fighters are known for their good netcode.
And mind you,
not anime fighters, I'm sorry, arena fighters.
Yeah, let me remind you the fact that it's still delay based and you can't fix stupid.
Right, so
it's still completely inferior to a contemporary.
So I played about 40, 50 matches.
Okay.
And I can honestly say, out of those matches, about honestly, 6 of them were actually lagging.
And you cool on those numbers? Like you those are real numbers?
Those are real numbers. I think actual six of those, and this is not like early release. This is like past launch day. This is at the game. We're currently at the hype, like the center of the hype of the game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the biggest. This is going to be when the player base is at its biggest. And I really didn't have any problems with the netcode, at all. So I'll gladly eat humble pie on that.
Did it feel like delay base?
Yes. See, and this is where it gets in. I think the game eats inputs. Sometimes I'll do something online, not like anywhere else, but online. It felt like my inputs were eaten regularly sometime, and that just could have been connection. But I can't complain too much. I really can, and this is not about like if the game is competitive or not. We'll get into that later. For what it is, I never played team battle either. I just played 1-on-1 because I didn't feel like playing like super long matches, right?
It was just to get a feel for the online,
right? So I don't know if the connection is any different. I don't know, but for 1-on-1 at the very least, I don't know why it would be different. But at any point, from what I played, I didn't have an issue with it. Sometimes some of the more skill-based elements to the game that require timing and stuff
get kind of fucked over.
Sometimes that gets kind of fucky, and sometimes there's I hope I have the footage of it. There's like this weird glitch that happens where like my character would get hit for no reason, but I don't know if that was just I can't blame that on the netcode. That probably was an oddity with the game.
Because regardless of the situation, it's still early,
right? So,
and even though I don't like using that for an excuse for games, I will use it for an excuse for online, because online is not an easy thing to do, and it's a lot of duct tape and spit that need to go in to make it work.
Right. So color me impressed. Maybe it's because of the simple nature of the game. Essentially, you're just mashing square anyway. So maybe that's kind of not like it's not as executionally tense as some other.
The game that got key track as much.
Yeah, so it's not a Street Fighter. You know, like a lot of shit auto locks.
Characters play the same pretty much.
Yeah. A lot of shit auto locks or homes. So the gameplay mechanics are probably doing a lot of the heavy lifting for the netcode, which is fine. If you ask me, I thought if that's true, that's smart.
So I guess the question is,
the game still need a rollback.
No. The game need a rollback.
The game still need a rollback.
There's no excuse. 5 years, the game had delay baits. Yes, it's a pleasant surprise that the delay baits is
solid at the very least.
Solid, but the game still needed a rollback.
I still wouldn't call the netcode good.
But the thing is, would you be able to cut it on at random times and enjoy yourself?
9 times out of 10, I would say yeah.
Okay then.
Well, that's fine, but I played in rank mode. This is rank. I didn't play player lobbies or anything like that. So I played rank. The way they do the rank matches is stupid.
What you mean?
So you fight 3 matches with your opponent. And it's not best of 3. You fight 3 matches.
Just again, like we said before in the last video. So it's just 3 straight matches. It's not best. So usually best out of 3, if you don't know, means 2, the first person to 2.
Yeah, first to 2 wins.
But no, you just play 3 matches.
And then your third match is a tiebreaker.
If you need it.
If it's 1-1. But no, I fight you twice, you beat me once, you don't get the rubber match at all. It's done. So that needs to be fixed.
It just need to be out of 2.
Yeah. So other than that, I don't have any issues with it. But to be fair,
I think characters got separate ranks too.
Maybe, yeah. I haven't looked into it. I was just kind of mashing the UI shit to get to the next match.
Yeah.
So I didn't really look to see if I know you have a main like rank. I don't know if characters have individual ranks, but that seems right probably. Who knows? That'd be good for replay value. So I don't see why they wouldn't have it. Like I was saying before you cut in. Even though we were opposed to delay-based netcode, and I still think the game needs rollback, like I just said. We never said that delay-based was a death sentence.
Well, we have the right to be concerned.
I have a right to be concerned because every other anime fighter, I keep saying anime fighter because it's an anime game. Every other arena fighter has bad fucking netcode. So nobody can look at us and say you're being unreasonable. I mean, I don't play a whole lot of arena fighters because of that fact, but at least Sparking Zero sticks to landing.
Well, to be fair, this got delayed best netcode because it's a Namco Bandai game.
Yeah, and that needs to stop. But after Sparking Zero success, I don't think in Tekken 8 success, I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. But for what it's worth, despite Chunsoft did a good job.
Good job.
So, however magic they use to cobble this delay-based shit together to make it functional,
it's probably whatever they use for Tekken 8.
And I'll gladly say I was wrong. This won't be the last time I gladly say I was wrong. But
whatever they doing for Tekken, they did for this.
Yeah, and it's solid. So don't fear the netcode. It's not perfect. Sometimes you're going to get people that will lag, but that's no different than rollback.
Yeah, rollback not perfect neither.
Yeah, so
don't let people put rollback on the pedestal neither.
So don't let anybody shit talk to netcode. It worked for me, and I don't see any reason why it doesn't work for anybody with a competent internet. You know.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. I guess the last game mode we actually played was offline 2-player.
Yeah, the ugly stepchild mode.
Yeah, the mode your mom doesn't want you to know about.
The mode mom and dad don't want to let you know about.
So it's weird.
It's half-assed.
I still stand by that. Now that I actually played the game, there was no reason why they couldn't optimize that game enough to have a split screen with all the stages. There was no reason.
Like why? Like I don't understand why we just punish playing hyperbolic time chamber all day. They get boring after a while.
Yeah,
and when we started playing the game the first time, and we went into what would you call it, the hyper mode or the sparking mode, what the fuck it was?
Yeah. You get
nauseous. Physically nauseous because of the way the horizon. You got used to it.
Because you're flying around and then you see this one single line.
Pointless.
This one single line in the horizon spinning around. I got nauseous the first time doing that shit.
So that's stupid.
So, and also, quickly as the game came out, there was a mod available for you to play all the stages you want on 2P mode. Now, how they run is another question, but it's possible. But I have no reason not to think they don't run as well as normal 2-player mode.
The reason why they did this isn't because like I said in previous videos, they had other games had limitations too, and they worked around it. So the reason why they cut 2-player mode or gutted it to the degree that it is because they wanted to speed up development of the game. They wanted to be out as soon as possible.
I can see that, but you know what? I'm gonna be devil's advocate real quick now that I'm thinking about it. Playing the game, I kind of get why they did it. I kind of get why. I'm not saying that it's a proper excuse because these levels are really big. Hold on. These levels are really big, man. These maps are highly destructible.
Okay.
Indents. There's particle effects everywhere. I get the logic why. Now that I played the game, I understand it. I'm not saying it's a suitable excuse when all you had to do was just reduce everything to make it stable.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not an excuse because the only thing you had to do was reduce the scale for 2-player mode.
So that
and mind you, this is something they did for every Tenkaichi based game. This is not the first time they had limitations and complications.
All they did was
every other game managed to do it. This game is no different. It's cat. They telling lies.
Oh God! Look, guys, we have to add a 2-player mode. So how about we reduce the render size of the stages? So we make them smaller.
Do some of the effects.
We cut some of the particle effects. We cut some of the some of the more fancier stuff to the game, so people can have an offline mode to play and not be stuck on a hyperbolic time chamber. And I literally got bored at looking at blue. I got bored. and that hurts 2-player mode. And
because they punish you for wanting to play on the same copy of the game.
And that what it feels like. It feels like they're punishing you. But we ranted about this part enough.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear about that more, we have like 4 other videos that cover that shit.
There's a mod that fixes it, like we said.
Yeah, it's in the community section of our channel. I guess with all that being said, I guess it's finally time to get into the gameplay.
The most important thing.
The most shocking thing about the game.
No, it's not that shocking. We always said it was going to be good.
No, I agree. We've always did. But it's shocking for how well they considered how the game actually plays.
Well, the offensive, the defensive, the clashing. They got like 6 or 7 different types of clashes. So I don't know why.
So we always knew the gameplay was going to be solid. It has Tenkaichi 3 as the base. So we always knew the gameplay was going to be solid. But it adds some pretty damn good like additions to the series.
And I'm going to say it, man. I know it's an arena fighter,
which is some kind of derogatory term, but it is an arena fighter. It's an arena fighting game. It's a fighting game that's more free. Like, your movement is more free, or you fight in larger areas, and that means the gameplay is more simplified. But we get into all that later on, right?
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, I know it's a arena fighter, and it's based off of anime, but the offensive and defensive and the way the actual game plays, to me, have more thought put into it than the majority of the modern games that we have now.
And I know you got a beef with the perception move.
I think slightly overtuned, but it's not that bad.
Well, the way I look at it is, you know how in Street Fighter 6 you have something like Drive Impact?
Yeah.
And Drive Impact they kind of serve the same function. They're there to try to blow up flowchart offense, right?
Yeah.
Especially in this game, since most of your offense is hitting square. So it's pretty brain dead. It's pretty easy to cut your brain off and keep smashing square, right?
Yeah, that's the part I'm impressed about the most. That they knew that this game was a square fest. So what they did was they made pressing square engaging.
You can really control your opponents in this game. There isn't some like you have to fucking, you have to do this specific thing to blow up. No, there's legitimate shit to blow up mashers in this game.
It's back and forth.
I know there's a big debate about mashing versus skill. This is a skill-based game.
It's a very skill-based game.
It just happens to be that it's brain dead enough where you can hit square.
But the game not afraid to punish you for doing that.
So it's very much like a platform fighter, I guess, in this sense too, like where it's easy to pick up, or I guess not a platform fighter, but Smash Bros in particular. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like it's simple, where anybody can play at any kind of level,
but it's like a Mortal Kombat game.
It's a lot of those things.
It's simple enough to bite into and get into, but it's deep enough to keep you engaged for a while at least.
So yeah, so we have things like perception, we have things like Z counter, hyper movement, or high speed movement, and things like that, and it all works really well.
And again, the characters are very streamlined in this game in comparison to Budokai 3 almost, I think.
Yeah, and that's another thing about the gameplay I don't like. Like things like the drop menu, it's functionally the same thing. I'm not here to say that it's not, but a lot of things in this game are slower in my opinion. The game is faster, but you know when you used to get hit, like knocked away, you used to mash square.
Circle
or whatever button. You know my point, right? You had to mash a button to recover, and that kind of kept you engaged while you were at a quote unquote, let's say, disadvantage state.
Yeah.
That kept you engaged. But in this game, you have to watch them, and I think that kind of just makes those kind of elements kind of boring.
Though sometimes I do feel like you can mash circle, but that might be just copium.
Like, there's been plenty of times where, and this is our fault, we grew up with BT3, so this is my fault. I still get hit, and I'm mashing circle, and I'll just sit there for a couple of minutes, because I'm like, okay, I didn't recover yet. But like, it took me a while to click that the game recovers automatically.
Yeah.
And that's annoying. It just seemed like it just robs me of the pace of the game.
Now, even if it's the same
idea,
even if it's the same time limit as it took to get up in BT3,
it's just that extra engagement.
That extra engagement of mashing a button Even if it don't
kept your
physically
brain
change
active.
anything, kept me active and into the match.
So instead of circle, I'm watching my character recover.
So it feels slow.
So it kind of takes me out of the game. And speaking of, this probably should have fit in the presentation section, but no, I guess it's still gameplay. The game's a lot more indulgent.
Yeah.
Where, and if you were looking at older like BT3 or any of the older Tenkaichi games, they had to understand that it's a fighting game too, so they kind of had to speed up the pace there. It was
very snippy.
Where yes, we have to do this reference, we have to do this certain iconography.
How could we do this reference in as less time as possible
and keep up the pace? And I thought they did a really good job of that. They'll have some quick camera angles. This is the recognizable thing they did from the show.
Move on.
But this one, you wait, and it's not a long wait, mind you, but it's like,
some of it is. You see the ribbon and teammate super.
Yeah, like it's just so pace breaking in my opinion.
It's too indulgent. Like it's jerking itself off,
and that's fine. But now I'm watching like Goku, the camera spin around Goku's butt 40 minutes for him to transform, and then I'm watching like just minutes of Zamasu talking, and that's probably the bit, but it's just minutes of him.
I'm just sloth for Zamasu. Like Zamasu and Frieza, they blow hearts.
Yeah, and the only reason, it's James Marsden, so I love that guy. Praise me, and I can hear him say the same lines all day. I just think Zamasu had a really cool voice, even though it's just kind of like even more like British Spike.
Yeah,
but that's not my point. It's just everything takes a little longer, even though the pace of the game is fast. It's kind of hard to explain. All the moment things like punching and kicking,
it's faster,
and that's fine. But when you get down to actually performing special moves, the game takes its time, and I think it takes unnecessarily long time to do things, especially with the frequency of when these moves come up.
There's too much pageantry.
Yeah. Where the older games had a certain briskness to them, while still retaining the reference-filled shit they used to do.
Yeah.
Another thing is, I think like skills cost too high. Like
now,
techniques,
I'm
like special moves.
Okay, let's say that.
I don't know why it took me forever to say special move.
In BT3, let's say you max your character, like you max out your key bars.
Okay.
And I use like a death beam or a rush attack.
Yeah.
I'm able to use 2 of those, depending on the skill.
Yeah.
This game, you can pretty much use 1 per character, and that it's not a bad thing. I think they want to emphasize punching. You don't want people shooting fireballs at each other all day.
I think it's mostly because you're teleporting for defensive purposes a whole lot more in this game. Because I felt myself in a lot of situations where I'm like, I knocked him away. Now I'm gonna bop him with a fireball. And oops, I'm sorry, I'm slightly under 3 key bars, so I can't do anything. And that's probably because you're using like key for a lot more defensive stuff now.
It's definitely not as flexible as BT3.
Like BT3, when you used to teleport freely, then they really didn't have a teleport freely thing. You had Wild Sense, and then you had Sparking, where you could teleport.
No, when you using Sparking mode, you can teleport wherever you want.
You can teleport freely, but in this game, you're teleporting a lot more, like a lot more casually. It's not like you're just Z-countering somebody all day. You're teleporting to get behind somebody, and that costs key. You're shooting key balls more because key balls link into rush attacks now. And
so
all that stuff.
Particular ways, yeah.
You're using key for your overall offense and defense a lot more often. So you're left with a whole lot of situations where you just don't have key. Which you can argue that it's like, oh, well, that's for proper management. That's something to keep your brain active, your neurons activated, so you can realize it. And that's probably just some getting used to. I'm not going to hold that against the game, right? So as far as I know, I liked it more if it's intentional. They might reduce it to 2 bar. The smart idea, I guess, would be have everything cost 2 bars, right?
Yeah, like
if they want to keep it this way and make the meter management a little more meaningful, then yeah, I'm okay with that.
Because I think they wanted you to box more in this game.
Because I like that. I like that. I kind of like it. I kind of don't like it, but I don't like it because I played the older games.
Yeah.
So I don't want to come off as biased, you know. And for what it's worth, once I started realizing, like, oh, okay, I need to be careful. I got to use maybe use perception here instead of teleporting.
Yeah.
Maybe try to we get a read on their charge attack and sidestep out the way.
It's weird, but it does up the decision making.
Maybe use a sway here instead of burning out my key. So if I can win the
if I get
neutral,
to confirm, I could probably link into a rush attack.
Yeah, I can do my combo and they're out of key, and I can do my combo and actually secure damage with a special move. So you can argue that's in favor of the more decision making of the game. So even if it's intentional or not, I think it should stay. I just think it's just a matter of us not being used to it.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, did I explain my case well enough?
Yeah.
I think rush attacks miss.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. That's why I was so quiet, because I'm watching this now, and it's like rush attack. If you use rush attacks like not straightforward in somebody's face, you just miss it.
They need. I don't know if they need like a bigger hitbox, or maybe they need to be slowed down so they can track better or something. But I'll knock somebody away, and I'm like, oh well, here's my drop menu. Let me decide what move I want to use, and then I decide for a split second to use a rush attack. It just seems like it just whiffs. Every 40 seconds, I go to get a hit confirm or capitalize on winning neutral, and the only thing I have available is a rush attack, and I can't use it. That's annoying, and I think that needs to be fixed. You got any more issues with the gameplay since we're at issues?
Characters, I do think characters feel a bit more uniform.
I don't know what you mean by that. Every character played the same in Tenkaichi.
Yeah, but it feels like it's more so in this game. Like there's less nuances between characters in Tenkaichi. So if it's like out of 10, right?
Okay.
Let's say Tenkaichi was like a 6 in terms of characters nuance. Okay. So a lot of characters play the same, but a couple of them, weird shit. This game feels like it's like a 4.
I don't know, man. I think it's the same thing. I think that it's going to come down to...
No, but here's my point, though.
Well, let me finish my point.
All right, go ahead.
I think it's going to come down to people, the hardcores, and it's going to be a game of inches, like it was in any other Tenkaichi game where people wanted to take it to the next level, competition-wise. It's going to be a game of inches. Maybe this guy has like one thing that's a little special that puts him over the top, or puts this character over the top as a top tier. Maybe this character struggles in a certain area where it's like, oh, this character charges keys slow, or its support moves are bad. Things like that. I think it's the same thing. But
no, I understand that. I think they actually use that to focus more on the mechanics.
I get you.
There's really no reason to think about individual characters if you can just focus on the mechanics. And that's what I think they did. So yeah, I think it might be a 4 in terms of character diversity. They feel a lot more uniform in this game, and that's not a terrible thing.
And if you always ask me, I will always take a smaller roster with more individualized characters. Even for arena fighters, I will still take like less characters if it means that they have more individuality.
But other than the characters they fucked over, like Hercule.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense to me. Hercule is not fun to play at all.
How they go backwards with everything? It's like, I don't understand. Like when you play this game with standard controls, it's like they just reverse Tenkaichi 3's controls.
I didn't like the basic controls.
And then when you play Hercule, like Hercule in every other game has a jetpack and can't teleport. But in this game,
he can teleport in other games.
What I'm trying to say,
he can't teleport in this game.
Oh, my bad. He got a jetpack, but he can't hit people. He got a jetpack, but he can hit people. In this game, he don't have a jetpack, but he can hit people. I don't understand that logic.
It's silly. I don't enjoy it as
Why would
much.
you design a character that way?
And I can understand him making him a joke character, but he needs to be playable, right? I don't care if he's a joke character. Hercule is one of my top 3 favorite characters, but I can't use him because he can't get Pete Nails. Maybe something I don't know. Maybe.
Well, in hyper mode you can hit him,
but it just seems like, why would he work that way?
He do start off with max backstop.
I get that Yajirobe has his Sensu Bean gimmick, and that's a legitimate function. Like, that's a good thing. Fidel's a pretty solid fucking character.
Yeah, Fidel's really good in this game.
But Hercule,
Fidel's main flaw is that she don't have a beam attack.
I can understand if he was fucking like a zoner or however that would look like in this game, but he doesn't do anything. He's just bad for the sake of being bad, and I think that's not a good way to design any character, arena fighter or otherwise.
Especially if you're tying characters into points.
But other than that, the roster seems fine. Of course, there's overpowered characters who do too much damage. Fine, whatever. I think that the DP system, which we were initially against, is fine.
Some characters are too expensive.
In some ways, we were wrong about that. In some ways, we were right. Some ways we're justified in our initial opinions about how it was a cheap way to balance the game.
It still is.
And it still is. That can be seen, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So once again, I'll eat kind of half a humble pie on that one. It's not as bad. Everything I said prior about this game ends up being like, it's not that bad.
Yeah, but we didn't say anything that bad, so we were still right. But the game ended up being a better product than we thought it would.
Yeah. And I'm happy for
everything we said. The game was rushed. Clearly, they didn't really. It was mostly presentation, but stuff like we never talked trash about the gameplay. So it's like we were right how like lack of modes, shit like that. You know, it's like we were right about the majority of the main thing we was wrong about was netcode.
Yeah, that's probably the major thing we were wrong about.
But we had every right to be wrong.
We had every right to second guess that shit. Every right to. But I'm glad the gameplay. We could have went in depth, but like I said,
it's gonna get its own review.
We only played it for like 4 days, so yeah. And for a channel that kind of dives into fighting games, platform fighter, traditional. We didn't do any platform fighters yet, but platform fighter, traditional, arena, old school, new school. Well, not really new school. I feel as though I wouldn't do the game justice,
and we didn't feel like just releasing a video day of, like that's retarded.
Yeah. So we wanted to play it for a bit, but like I said, this is only a courtesy glance at the gameplay. Yeah. We're going to go deeper into the gameplay once we give this game some time to breathe, once we get more time to get associated with the mechanics, see where the meta goes, kind of see how people decide to play the game at a decent level. Then we'll consider like making a big a big thing about the gameplay. And I know Kenny asked, since we're here anyway, how do you unlock everything? If you got a PC, I just use a save file.
Yeah, we fuck all that.
I'm not playing. I'm done unlocking shit in my games. I'm done. I'm glad there's stuff to unlock, but I don't really care. The combat against the AI isn't that engaging for me to play it infinitely, like forever. So we just use the 100% save file.
Just Google that bitch and have fun.
If you got it on PC, that is.
What site you get it from?
Nexus mods.
Yeah, Nexus. Just go to Nexus, bro.
So
it's not illegal. It's a save file.
So you have anything else to say about the game, bro?
No, it's good. I'm happy that it's good. It's something you can sink your teeth into. It's more engaging than most modern games right now, and that's all. It's engaging for a game that you press 1 to 2 buttons at a time.
They did a good job.
They did a fantastic job of keeping it engaging.
Yes.
Just shorten some of these movies or expedite them a bit. Be less self-indulgent, and you'll be fine.
Maybe give Perception some kind of cost.
Yeah, Perception need to take like half a key bar. It needs some type of punishment. It's not unstoppable. It's not super cheap, but it does need to be hit a little bit.
And we'll see about that. I'm not entirely too convinced that it needs to be. I'm just kind of saying that because that's what you think. I feel as though it's fine because, like I said, offense comes fast and offense comes easy. So why not give people a strong, easy way to shut that shit down?
You do have a strong, easy way to shut it down. Just make a call sign.
No, but why? Punching doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, because punching is how you initiate.
Offense is easy and fast in this game. You need a defensive mechanic that's equally easy to get access to.
Yeah, it's called blocking.
Okay, I get it, but something to dissuade somebody from hitting us.
It's called heavy blocks.
There's no heavy block. What's a heavy?
It is. You block up and down.
Okay, but I mean, we're talking about just smashing square.
Whatever, man. I think it needs to be Perception. I don't think it ruins the game. Once again, very solid. You can throw people. I think you can hit it from behind.
And that's the thing I forgot. We were comparing it to Ultra Instinct. I mean, my God.
Drive Rush.
Drive Impact. Ultra Instinct. We were comparing it to Drive Impact, where Drive Impact was supposed to be used as a mechanic to shut down, full chart offense. Where, I got to read on you. I don't think the game needed 3 hits of armor or anything like that, but that's neither here nor there, right? There's counterplay, like there's little to no real counterplay to Drive Impact outside of guessing. which is Street Fighter 6's MO. It's like it's just guessing. And
Lower the skill gap.
And this game is guessing too, but
no, but this game is guessing in the right way.
It's guessing in a more engaging way than just this binary. Did I do it or did I not?
In every fighting game, there's guessing. There's not one fighting game that there's not guessing.
Yeah, there's going to be guessing.
The difference is how you handle that guessing. The problem with most of these mostly Street Fighter and Tekken, is that their guessing is very binary. It's either you're right or you're wrong, and that's it. This game guessing isn't binary, is multifaceted.
And like it's quick. Like, oh man, well, and there's a couple of fail safes. Like if you get hit, yeah, you lose that exchange. But once they try to extend their offense further, you can either like Z counter.
There's always a way to get your turn.
You can vanish. You can snap vanish away. There's options on top of those options, so you're not out of the game too much. That's why
your ass though.
That's why I'm okay with perception being as strong as it is, because perfect perception takes away key and knocks them away, and you can get some follow-ups and anything like that. Like, but you need something like that with how mashy this game is, and that's why I'm impressed, because the Z counter is actually an execution-based technique that rewards you way better than perception. So yeah, you can spam perception all you want, but you have to commit to it. It's not like Street Fighter where you do drop impact and your character is safe on block, and the only thing that can beat it is a grab. That's bad design.
A grab on startup.
See, this isn't about traditional versus arena fighters or anime fighters or anything like that. This is about how you utilize mechanics. Mechanics at the end of the day is mechanics. Perception is really no different than drive impact, except for perception isn't an offensive attack. But it's still that same level of it's a free move, but it's utilized better. It's simple. In my opinion, it's just I'm not saying it's 1-for-1. I don't need people coming around saying like, oh, well, he's saying it's the exact same thing. I'm saying that drop impact is used in the way where it's used as an out. It could have been a cool mechanic.
Okay, drop impact is used in a way to lower the skill bar.
Yeah.
Perception is used in a way that you can use it to
shut down predictable.
Enforce your will on other people.
If somebody's being predictable, then you take the risk. If you got to read on them so bad, then you can perfect perception them and take away some key and knock them away and do whatever you want after that. Or you can hit them with a basic.
It's literally in the name, perception.
Yeah, a basic gut check, and then you can take your offense from there. It's not robbing the player of agency, because you have to make a commitment to it. But it's fine. It's fine. That's why I'm saying it doesn't need a key cost. Because if you're playing at a decent level or you're that much stronger than your opponent skill-wise, just mix them up. If they're relying too hard on it, you've seen me do matches where people were relying on that way too fucking hard. And I used it against them, and it just got me a free win. So it's exactly where it needs to be. Having it cost key, I think, would actually hurt it. Like, it wouldn't make it viable. Like revenge counter. Revenge counter costs too much. But then again, it's a combo breaker. So it needs to cost something. Like, it can't be costing one stock because people be spamming it all day, right?
Yeah.
But it's too costly because you need your support skills. They come in clutch sometimes. So it's not worth it. So you have different levels of defensive options, and that's
offense,
and that's interesting. You got your basic level 1 perception, and that's a risk on your part. You have Z counter, which is like level 2, but it requires some execution, but it's for a better reward. And then you have something like teleporting, which is more lower risk, but you don't get any offense after that. It lets you teleport behind them, and it costs key. And then you have something like revenge counter, which is costly, but it completely shuts down the opponent. Allegedly, I haven't found a reason to use it outside of the other defensive mechanics. So maybe that needs a buff. Maybe that needs to do something else. But it's a combo breaker. Maybe I think it should knock them away. I think it should knock people away. I think it should be used as like a ghetto MK breaker.
Listen, at the end of the day, they did a good job.
Yeah, I wouldn't be talking about it this much if it wasn't interesting mechanics.
And I hope it don't in the future they don't ruin it somehow. But this game probably goes like 4 patches anyway outside of DLC characters.
Well, this ended up being way longer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, but you know, it's our first impression.
So, do you think, before we get into our scoring, right?
Yeah.
Do you think this game lives up to BT3?
They are 2 vastly different games at this point.
But do
I think that I think this game is a step in the right direction of the history of BT3. So BT3 don't shit completely on this game.
No, because that's almost a 20-year-old game. Or not almost. It's probably like almost 30 at this point. Man, it can't be that way. But do I think it lives up to BT3? Actually, I was going to say no, but I think so. I think it lives up to it. I don't think it surpasses it.
I don't think it surpasses because the game feels still kind of weird. We should have talked about that.
Yeah. Like, just hits feel kind of floaty. I just think, like, overall attacking doesn't feel as satisfying as BT3. BT3 does a lot of good things. Tenkaichi 3 does a lot of good things. I think this game does a lot of fantastic things too, but it's more of the, wow, they didn't have to do this, and wow, they didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we like to score things here in TCB, especially with TCB reviews, right?
And this is nothing but a fancy TCB review.
Yeah, and this is the first time we've done like a review like of this style, right? So here's how we'll handle it, right? We both had our initial scores about this game going in.
Yeah.
So we'll do it like this. You tell me your initial score. I'll let you know my initial score. Then you'll say, did it surpass that score or not? You'll tell me your new number. It's out of 5, by the way. And then I'll tell you mine, and then we'll combine it, and that's the final score.
Okay.
All right. So with all that mess out the way, where was your initial score of Sparking Zero?
A 3.
A 3? Okay. My initial score of Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero was a 2.5 out of 5. So where does it land for you now?
3.5.
3.5?
Yeah. It's an old. It don't do enough to be like, oh, it's the best game in the universe, because it's clearly not. But it's a game that it's way more than what it looks like.
And I'm gonna level with you. So are you done? That's your piece?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna level with you, right? I'm not gonna say I was a giant detractor of the game, right?
No, we was only responding to the information they was giving.
But
us.
I was going in, and I'm glad.
No, you was very you thought very negatively going in.
So, and I'm glad we played Tenkaichi 3 for that match. I'm glad we did that. I'm actually a lot more positive in this game, oddly enough. So my initial score going in was a 2.5. This might shock you, but I'm going to give it a 4. I'm going to give it a 4. I do think, despite my issues with some of the elements of this game, the amount of care, the amount of reverence they have for the franchise, all that shows. Now, do I think it's like the mecca of fucking anime fighters? I mean, arena fighters? It's probably the best arena fighter out.
Oh no, it's definitely the best arena fighter
since
out.
BT3, honestly. It's probably one of the best.
Because they shared the bed with JoJo.
Yeah, so, well, JoJo's not an arena fighter.
Yeah, technically it is.
But I'm going to give it a 4 because I am impressed. I've had fun. The game was fun. And all I said was the game needed to be was fun.
It's fun, but I'm talking everything in a whole to me. I was impressed with certain aspects of the game, but the entire game didn't blow me away.
But I'm not like saying the game is amazing. I don't think the game's amazing. I don't think it's something like I don't think it's anything that's gonna like be like I have to play this game. But I do think when I do want to play it, I'll have a fun time.
Yeah.
The netcode is surprisingly solid for delay base. The mechanics are shockingly well thought out for an arena fighter, even though I shouldn't be even saying that. That's a stupid thing. The game is surprisingly skill based. There's a floor here. There's a ceiling here. Like, you just can't mash your way. If you think you can mash your way because you think it's a lesser game because it's not Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or Tekken, then you're stupid.
The surprising thing about this game to me is this game is willing to go out of its way to punish you for not respecting
for being there. It punishes you for being exactly the kind of player you think this game
You
would
think
have.
that they want it, yeah.
So yes, I'm impressed with this game. I give it a 4.
3.5, I think it's still fair. I'm talking about the whole product as a whole. And I think the product as a whole is still like a 3.5.
That's fair enough. So with Madhouse's 3.5 and me, the Final Bush's 4, that lands Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero a TCB score of 7.5.
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's higher than Concord! No. This was not on purpose.
Yeah, this was an accident.
I wasn't going in saying I'm gonna give it a 3.5. He put me on the spot.
Well, yeah, the Concord got a 7.
What's the big deal about Concord getting a 7?
I don't see the comparison between the two. Concord is a pretty whatever first person shooter.
Yeah, but it's not a bad game.
So yeah, but the context is different. So I don't know why people are so upset that they share a score. There's plenty of games that share a score with Concord. So why? Because they're just two of the newest games and everything.
Because Concord. Yeah, but the gameplay to Concord is good.
Is it? I never played Concord.
Yeah, the gameplay to Concord is positive.
Okay, then if it's a 7, the gameplay to this game.
Okay, but think of it like this: the gameplay to Concord is positive, and everything else is a negative. Right?
Yeah.
The gameplay to this game is a positive, but everything around it is either average to slightly above average. That's about a 7 to me. It should have been a little bit higher, I think. I think if you give this game a 7, but like a 7.5 or whatever magic number you put, the game is a 7, period. It's a good game. It's a decent game.
Yeah, 7's not a death sentence. It's not a death march. Like it's 7 is a good game.
This is a decent game. It's not a 10. I'm sorry, DBZ fans.
In my opinion, the 7, my 4 solely comes from the gameplay.
Yeah, and my 0.5 come out of the gameplay.
The only reason it doesn't get the extra 5 because it's not a 5 game. When I'm saying I was gonna give it a 3.5, but I really was impressed by the gameplay. So that game would have been like a 6 or something.
But as a package,
it's not very impressive.
This game is a mediocre game.
Shaky netcode, good netcode,
but shaky.
And
not enough modes.
2-player mode is not polished.
2-player mode is not polished. The overindulgent, like you got, it's not a perfect game.
It's not perfect. I know everybody makes it out to be perfect, and that's probably because they were starving for just good games.
Yeah, but in TCB, we look at the game.
And yeah. Like I'm not like here. I don't play a lot of arena fighters. Not nowadays anyway. So I don't know about your Naruto's. I know about Kill If a little bit, but I don't know about your Naruto's or your Jujutsu Jensens or whatever the fuck that is, or your My Hero Academia things. I don't know anything about that.
This is definitely the best arena fighter.
I know that the last arena fighters I knew of was
Kill
If, and Jump Force, and that was it. And Jump Force was terrible, and this is far from a fucking Jump Force.
And Kill If also had delayed best net goal.
Did it?
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, so Sparking Zero, better than we expected.
Surprisingly good game.
So where did you guys fall in this game? Did you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? No, nobody should think it's bad, but
it's definitely not bad.
Where you land on it? We want to hear what you think in the comment section.
Your actual opinion. Don't glaze it.
Yeah, don't glaze it.
Don't glaze it. Don't be a hater. Just talk about your feelings is all you gotta do.
Yeah. You don't like what we say? Okay, that's what we say. Go make your own YouTube channel.
Yeah. or give a shout out in the chat to tell us what your opinion is.
Like
your opinions matter as much as everybody else.
Like they make it this far.
If you make it this far, I don't know. What should they say?
Man.
Great googly moogly.
10 trillion tons of mayhem.
No, we can't say that. Gotta be Sparkling Zero.
Oh, okay. Well, this is just the rambly part of the video.
BT3 was better.
No.
It's me.
Sparking Zero is not a masher.
Not a masher.
Say not a masher.
Not a masher. Maybe as far as say not a masher.
All right. So you happy with this?
I'm happy with this.
We good?
I'm gonna play more of it once time, when we get time.
All right. We'll see you next time.
See you.